Hey SAS fam! If you're new here, my name is Chrissy and I am the owner of Sugar and Spice Glitter Co. Today's video is going to be an introduction to my brand new series called Meet the Maker. My idea for this Meet the Maker actually originated as an idea for my podcast channel. And my podcast is called The Creators Club, a Crafters Connection podcast. And you can find us on Apple and Spotify, as well as a few other channels that I will have linked down below. But as you guys know, I also have an exclusive group called the Creators Club that you can find and gain access to on Facebook. So I thought it'd be a great idea to kind of combine the two and give early access to my members inside of the Creators Club by going live with members that are a part of the Creators Club, as well as have surprise guests that will be joining us from outside of the Creators Club to not only share and talk about their story and their journeys, but give insights and tips on how they were able to grow their businesses. So I am really excited to bring this series to you guys as well here on YouTube. These are going to be pre-filmed lives that were originally done on my Facebook. For those of you guys who like to listen to podcast audios on the go, you will also have access to those on my podcast channel. My idea for this whole entire podcast was just to be able to unite the crafters community and share stories, because I think all of our stories are super important no matter where you are in your journey, whether you are just beginning or you are super advanced in your craft. And so for our very first Meet the Maker, I wanted to talk to a member that is a part of the Creators Club, and her name is Olivia Chapa. She's an amazing crystal artist. She's been doing this for 2 years and she has grown exponentially on her Instagram. Be sure to check out the description box for all of Olivia's information, all of her social media. And I'm super excited for you guys to hear everything that she has had to say. So if you are excited to watch today's videos, then keep on watching. So let's go ahead and jump on in. Hi everybody! It is our very first Meet the Maker. I am going to bring in Olivia right now, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. I'm so excited. Thank you so much for joining and doing this. Our very
Thank you for
first
inviting me.
Meet the Maker interview. I'm so excited to have you. So to get started, tell me a little bit about yourself and what it is that you do and the name of your business and all of that stuff.
I'm Olivia, the owner of O&E Designs. I make epoxy-free tumblers and pens and some shirts on the side as well.
And how long have you been doing this for?
I started with shirts. We started back in 2019, just doing shirts here and there. And then in 2020, when COVID hit, I got laid off from my job. So then I was like scrolling through TikTok and I would see all of these tumbler makers, and my husband was like, why don't you try that? Because there was a lot of people requesting like, hey, do you know who makes tumblers? And I was like, oh, I'll give it a try. And then from there, just stuck with it.
Nice. So when you first started making tumblers, did you know about crystalline or did you first start with resin?
I first started with resin. Yeah, I had
Okay.
no idea about crystal.
And you were working with resin for a long time before you switched, or how did that whole thing
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so from about May 2020 to like July of 2021, I was using resin. But I would notice that I would get really bad headaches, and I thought it was like allergies. And then I would stop, working on tumblers, and my headaches would go away. And then I started seeing a lot of people use Crystal on Instagram. And so I would start asking questions, and they're like, yeah, some people do have allergic reactions to epoxies. So I was thinking, maybe that was happening to me. So I
Right.
decided to make the switch.
Nice. And so when you first got started with Crystalac, is it something that you kind of just like switched over to right away, or were you still going in between like resin and Crystalac, kind of feeling your way around? Or how did that whole thing evolve into the
Well,
Crystal?
I wanted to jump right in, just get rid of epoxy, but it was really hard
Oh,
because with Crystalac you have to use very thin layers, and it takes like a week to finish a tumbler. And I was used to doing like thicker layers and getting the tumbler done within a couple of days. So at first I was putting thicker layers of crystalline bright tone on my tumblers, and they were not coming out good. They had bumps and they were being tacky. And then so I was like, oh, I'm just gonna stick with it, deal with the headaches. I'll take some Tylenol. And so I would go back and forth to epoxy, and then I was like, no, this my headaches were getting really, really bad, and my son would want to be in the office with me while I was working, and I was like, no, I can't. I have to stick with Crystal Eggs. So I started following a bunch of bright tone users on Instagram, and I would ask them questions, and they would help me out a lot. And then slowly and slowly, I just transferred all the way over to Crystal Egg.
That's really nice. I actually have tried using Crystalline. I've done like one cup, and I like the idea of working with Crystalline because, of course, the same thing, like the whole safety issue and all that stuff. And
Mm-hmm.
I've seen so many beautiful Crystalline tumblers. Like your cups are so beautiful.
Thank
And
you.
I mean, the finished result to me, it looks like a resin tumbler, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I've I've actually never seen a crystalline tumbler in person, so I can't say for sure like if there's a difference. But I've seen some reviews like online and stuff, and some people say that the cups are lighter because epoxy is heavy and it's more dense,
Mm-hmm.
and yet the layers are thicker. So one of the benefits to using crystalline is that you have a lighter tumbler. You don't have to use, even though you have to put a lot of layers, it's not as heavy or bulky, right?
Correct.
And then
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to use PPE or anything like that with bright tone. I just cannot get, like, I see a lot of makers using bright tone on their cup without any gloves, and I'm just like, I still would wear gloves. Like, I still wear gloves. I cannot, I don't know, that just like is like, because it's still slimy or whatever. I don't know. Not slimy, but
Mm-hmm.
it's still like a liquid. But that's,
Yeah.
I love how you did what was best for you, right? Like you
Mm-hmm.
started with resin and it just wasn't working for you. And like everything else, you have to do what works best for you. And the fact that as a tumbler maker, we have that option, which is Crystalac, it's nice because there are a lot of people that didn't know that Crystalac was an option and thought that they had to completely give up something that they love. And so
Mm-hmm.
I'm so happy that there's this product now that so many people can learn about. Woo, sorry guys. There's this product that so many people can, learn about and still use if resin is not a good choice for them. So I,
Mm-hmm.
I really love that. And like I said before, your tumblers are absolutely beautiful. I've been
Thank
seeing
you.
like all of your posts on social media. Like you're doing really great. And I think you
Thank
just hit a
you.
milestone too, right? You just hit
Yes.
what was it, 12,000 followers
Yes.
on Instagram. So
Mm-hmm.
congratulations because that
Thank
is
you.
huge. And I've been looking at the numbers of your reels, girl, and you have like your reels are on point. You got so many views, and I am so proud of you, and I'm so happy for all
Thank
of the
you.
success that you have been, creating for yourself because that's really amazing, and it's not easy to do in this community, and with all of social media and how hard it is to learn because it's forever changing and Instagram is
Mm-hmm.
forever changing, especially now with the reels. And that's like one of the main things that a lot of people as creators have to utilize to grow now our pages. So you've done an absolute amazing job. And I'm so proud of you, like I said. So I want
Thank
to
you.
kind of like talk more about the social media aspect of it because I think it's a super important part of a creator's business. And so when you utilize your Instagram, is it something that you have a method? Like do you follow a specific method to the type of videos that you post or you just kind of have fun with it?
Well, for me, I notice what works. What people like to see is glittering videos or just painting a tumbler. Like just one color, one solid color. It gets like 1,000 likes and 1,000 views, and it's so simple. But I have found out that what also helps is the trending sounds. So I'll go on the Reels page and I'll look at the trending sounds and then just upload a video from there. But recently, like this past week, I've been trying to, because I noticed a lot of my followers are crafters, and I would like to get more customers. So I'm
Mhm.
trying to switch over my content to pull in more customers. I mean, I do love my crafter friends,
Of course.
but I need customers too.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to like do the call to action, like I don't know, DM me if you're interested in this Tumblr or if you have any questions to try to get that engagement with customers as well.
Yeah. And that's really important because that's key. And that's something that I've spoken about before in the past too, because like as creators, we tend to kind of like flock with all the creators, and it's great to
Mm-hmm.
have creator friends in the community, but if you're trying to build a business, then you definitely want to make sure that you're doing that your content
Mm-hmm.
is pulling in actual customers, because you can have hundreds and thousands of followers that are other creators that are not necessarily going to bring revenue to your business, but if you're not
Mm-hmm.
pulling in actual customers, then that makes a difference into the level of success, because you can have social media success, which is following and
Mm-hmm.
popularity on social media, or you can have revenue success, which is going to be pulled in by the type of customers and people that actually follow you, because you want that to roll
Mm-hmm.
over to people who are going to buy your product. So that's definitely a smart move. And I cannot wait to see how you build towards that. And it's nice that you realize, like, okay, well, now I think I need to like change over to who I am creating my content for.
Mm-hmm.
So that's really awesome. Um, I want to I want to ask you if there's one thing that you learned in the community, because you've been around since you said 2020, and that's been 2 years already. And in 2 years, the journey you can learn so much. And
Mm-hmm.
if there's one thing that you can tell somebody who's up and coming in the Tumblr community, something that you learned along the way that you think is important for someone else to know, what would that be?
Don't compare yourself to other crafters. Don't compare your business to their business. That's something I struggled with a lot and still to this day. Because you can see people continue to grow and grow and grow, and they're having all of these sales, and you're just wondering, like, well, I'm doing the same thing. Why am I not getting the sales or the growth that they're getting? So I just learned to just like take it at my own pace, and when it's my time, it'll be my time. And then after I noticed, like after I started doing that, just thinking, okay, when it's my time, it's my time, I started growing and getting more
Nice.
sales in.
I like
So,
that. Yeah. Yeah, because it's hard to you limit your own self by comparing yourself to
mhm,
others, because you're trying to copy what someone else is doing, not necessarily is that going to work for you. That's a
mhm,
great word of advice, is definitely not to compare. And it's normal to compare. Everybody does it. Everybody. I do it, you do it, everybody does it. It's hard not to, but I think it's super essential to realize, okay, notice that you're doing it and then pull yourself
mhm,
out of it and say, okay, like that's it, I'm not that person, I am me, and I got to do what works best for me. So that's really awesome.
mhm,
When you first started, you said you first started this Tumblr journey in the beginning of the pandemic, and I think a
mhm,
lot of people started around that time. When you first decided to do this, you decided to go into business with your husband, right? You're married, or okay.
mhm.
So when you decided to go into business with your husband, is it something that you initially thought, I'm going to make this a business? Or is this something that you just started because, oh, you thought it was cool and maybe it's something I can do like on the side?
Yeah, it definitely started out like a hobby. He was the one more interested in making the shirts, so that's when we got the silhouette. And then from there, um, he went back to work, so he was like, "Well, if you want to keep doing the shirts, you can do that." But I don't really care for making shirts. That's why when he was like, "Oh, I'll try to do the tumblers," I really went all in. but it was just a hobby at first. I didn't think it was going to be a business. And then a couple of years later, I would say October of last year, I decided to go back to work. And then I was like, no, this isn't working out. I'd rather be at home making tumblers. And I want that to be my business. I want to be my own boss. I want to be home with my baby. Um, like with virtual learning, my son, when he's home, I can be home with him. I don't have to worry about finding someone to watch him.
That's great. Did you find it hard initially when you first went back to work, with the schedule of it all? Did that ever play a part into, okay, like if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do this full time? Or like I know that there's a lot of people in the community that they have this small business and then they also have another job that they work. And
Mm-hmm.
it can be hard to organize your time in doing so. And even as a mom too, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
we're home, we're taking care of our kids, and that's a job in itself. And then we have this whole other thing that we have to do. So if there is a method or something that you do to organize your time, is there something that you think kind of just clicked? Like, okay, this is what I need to do to make this work. Like, what would that be? Like, is it organization? Like, what kind of organization do you do to kind of make sure that you do what you need to do with your business so that it continues to stay successful?
Well, I have a planner, so every night I'll plan out what I need to do for the next day. Um, and then since my son is in school, I do get up early to take him to school, get him ready. So I get up around 5:30 in the morning, and then I'll start sanding my tumblers, putting some coats of bright tone, printing decals while he's getting ready. And then that way, whenever I take him to school, I come back home, I can do like another coat of bright tone, and then my baby wakes up. So by that time, I have about like 4 or 5 hours of crafting time that I have like uninterrupted. And then throughout the day, I'll put a couple more layers of bright tone on. But since it's so easy, there's no mixing or anything. I just put a layer on and then I just step away. So I found that waking up earlier in the morning, even though I don't like to, it helps a lot because I do have those extra hours to get everything done.
So you prefer to wake up early rather than stay up late? Because I know we have a
Mhm.
couple owls in the house, but um, I used to be one of those crafters that was a night owl and stayed up really late, and it kind of like messed with everything. Like my whole attitude was like, God, so cranky all the time because you don't get enough sleep. So yay! I applaud you for waking up early because that is something that I definitely need to work on waking up early because I wake up at the time that I need to take the kids to school. But
Mhm.
I tell myself all the time, like, if you could just wake up a little bit earlier, you'd have more time in the day to get done what you need to get done. So that is
Mhm.
great advice. Wake up a little bit earlier. You have so much time to get what you need to do. And then you can get to bed, I guess, a little bit earlier. You take advantage of going to bed when the kids go to bed. So,
Mhm.
that's great. Now, as to go back to lessons and all that stuff, like, is there a moment that you can think of that was like one of your biggest failures as far as maybe making cups or starting a business? And like, how did you learn from that and move on from that situation?
Um, I would have to say like going back to comparison. Um, I would just be like, oh, well, they barely started, and they're doing so good. I can just jump right in and I can be, as successful as they are overnight, just like them.
Yeah.
But obviously that doesn't work for everybody. So I would say that just comparing myself to others, which I've learned to not to do. I mean, it's hard, but
Yeah. Nice. And on days when you're feeling kind of like unmotivated. We have those days when we're feeling unmotivated or we're feeling like, this is not working out. Like, we all have those days where we're not feeling motivated, where we just don't want to do anything. Is there something special that you do to keep you motivated? like I know for me, I like to listen to a lot of motivational podcasts or like motivational like YouTube channels where they have kind of like quotes and stuff. Like, what do you do to kind of keep that motivation going so that you don't burn out or quit?
Um, and that's something that I do. It's more so my kids, wanting to build this business for them so I can be home with them and help contribute, to the family. Um, Definitely my kids is what keeps me motivated.
Nice. I like that. That's one of my biggest whys too, of course, the kids. And okay, yeah. I mean, I I want to ask you one more thing. Well, two more things. I have a couple more things. Um, Now that you've established your business and you've been doing your business for 2 years now, if you could look into the future 5 years from now and look at your business, what would your business look like? Like, what would you be doing ideally 5 years from now with your business?
Um, I would really love to be an RTS seller, and steer away from customs. Um, it's kind of hard right now because that's basically what I get is nothing but custom orders. But I would really love to do RTS, and I kind of want to start selling glitter, but who knows? Maybe
That's
if you open
exciting.
that class.
That's exciting. Yes. Selling glitter is an awesome business as well. And I think it opens up so much in the small business community. So that's awesome. That's a great goal to have. And yeah, the sky's the limit for you. Okay, one last question to close everything out is, if I were a new artist coming into this community, what advice would you give me just getting started? Like, if I wanted to know, okay, I'm new to this community besides the competition, like we already spoke about that, but what advice would you give to a brand new artist just getting started? I don't know, anything.
To do your research, whether if that's looking up YouTube videos, joining Facebook groups, do a lot of research before you just jump right in. That way you don't have as many failures, just instead of jumping right in and have a failure after failure. I would do as much research as you can and find those creators that are willing to help you out, with any questions that you have. That way it's a smoother ride for you.
That's a good one. Yay! Thank you so much. Now, um, I want everybody to, of course, this Meet the Maker is to highlight the person that we're speaking about. So, where can everybody find you? What is your Instagram? Do you have a YouTube channel? I know you do. So, drop your YouTube channel, all of your socials, so that everybody who's watching and listening can find you.
Okay, my Instagram and TikTok are the same. It's at O_E_designs. And the YouTube channel is the and sign, E designs, O and E designs.
Nice. And actually, we have a request from Monique. If it's next to you, do you have any tumblers that you can show off right now? Or
I
is
have
it far away for
one. I have my personal one.
you? Ooh, nice.
But the rest, they're wet right now with bright tone.
Nice. Well, thank you so much again for sitting down with me today and speaking a little bit about you and your business and everything that you do. I just want to say again that you are doing awesome and I'm so proud of you, and you're killing it, girl. And you have so much to gain, and I can see your growth just skyrocketing. So thank you again so much. To those of you who are watching and listening, I will have links and everything to all of her social that she just dropped. Definitely be sure to follow her on all of her social medias and keep a close eye, because she's gonna blow up. And if she starts that glitter business, you guys are going to definitely want to jump on that. So thank you guys so much. Mwah.
Thank
I will talk
you.
to you guys next time Our next Meet the Maker is going to be in 2 weeks, and we have a very special guest, so keep an eye and ear out for who's going to be joining us. Mwah. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So that was it for our very first Meet the Maker interview with Olivia Chapa. I hope you guys really enjoyed sitting down and listening to everything she had to say. I, for one, am super excited about this whole entire series because I cannot wait to introduce you guys to some amazing makers. And if you guys love things like this, then you are going to want to stay tuned for our next guest. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a big thumbs up and tell me what you thought about this series or what you think about this series down below. And if you will also be subscribing to my podcast channel on Apple and Spotify. If you are excited and you love everything that is coming to my channel and you are just meeting me for the very first time, then please consider subscribing to my channel because we have lots of fun stuff planned for the rest of this month as well for the rest of this year. So with that being said, I love you guys and I will talk to you all next time. Mwah. Bye.